Do you attract clients that are neurodivergent? Do you
Yeah.
feel comfortable
Yeah.
getting that space?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I've noticed. Just a lot of people with different diagnoses, and you
Mm,
know, that was probably another sign actually. It was like, let's look at the people around me, and it's like, yeah, a lot of people with either ADHD or autism or both,
mm,
or a lot of dyslexic people, people who
right?
struggle with dyslexia, dyscalculia, that kind of thing as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
just people whose brains work differently, which I think
yeah,
is more. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I don't know if there's been any studies done, but there must be like a higher correlation between entrepreneurship, business owners, and neurodivergence, because it's
yeah,
like you simply don't fit into like the standard world that has been created. It's like we're not. Often we struggle with being employees, and we
yeah,
struggle with the school system. So maybe people who leave without the qualifications that they might want or need to get to somewhere. So I wouldn't be
yeah,
at all surprised if there's just like a general higher kind of
yeah,
correlation, even if they're not diagnosed. But
yeah. And that's the thing. There's so many people like us that aren't diagnosed in our sort of generation, isn't
mm,
there? Um,
yeah.
yeah, there's people that I'm coaching that show many of the characteristics of ADHD and autism, and it's just like, yeah, it's sort of, I do, because they talk to me about, because I write about it in my daily emails as well, about the
Mm.
experience of having ADHD, and it's like, oh, I can relate to that. And it's like, yeah, yeah, and you kind of encourage people that maybe sort of like exploring it further if you're interested in a diagnosis, because a lot of people aren't they? They just go, no, I'm just
Yeah.
not interested. But a lot of the things that work organizationally for ADHD people can help anybody, can't they?
I know, right? Yeah, because this is one of the things that I found with my book coaching. Like a lot of the stuff that I do is very counter to like the received wisdom about like how to write a book, how to do this, how to do that. A lot of that advice, traditional advice, is aggressively unhelpful for people who are neurodivergent. But like an awful lot of what I teach and how I do it is, like you say, really useful for people with like typical brains as well.
Yeah,
There's not only one way to do things, and I think that's one of the
yeah,
biggest one of the biggest issues we've got is this very narrow band of normal that suits actually very few people. And then the people who are outliers struggle the most, obviously. But like I think most people struggle within, I don't know, this like Western capitalism, puritanical kind of, Protestant work ethic, that very, very narrow way of doing things. And it's like,
yeah.
I don't think it serves, I think it serves hardly anybody, really.